I'm Philip Armstrong, head the Global Corporate Governance Forum, which is based in Washington, D.C., and is part of an initiative by the World Bank, the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the International Finance Corporation to support corporate governance in emerging markets and developing countries. I think you firstly have to separate it from regions such as Europe, where I think there's a fairly high level of consumer sensitivity to issues around climate change, issues around human rights, the use of child labor and what have you. So there's I'd say in the more developed markets, if I can put it that way, whether it's North America or Europe, there's a sensitivity, particularly among consumers, as to how well companies are behaving, where they're sourcing products and goods from, and in what way that takes place. When you get into the developing countries, the emerging markets, social responsibility takes a different definition in many ways. It's more about what very often very poor and impoverished communities expect from large multinationals, expect from large corporations. The view that there's some measure of entitlement that these companies are operating sometimes correctly or arguably or not at their expense, or in an environment where they see themselves as disadvantaged. So you have a different sensitivity on issues of social responsibility. So in the emerging markets and developing countries, social responsibility is around how really society tends to see business and tends to see the operation of corporations, particularly multinationals. I've had endless discussions with business schools, and there's a sort of almost a cynicism around whether this is really what matters, because the idea is it's been designed around what their expectations, what students expect to do when they leave business school. So I find this very encouraging from two levels. One's the ownership by the students of that agenda, which is encouraging for future leadership. And the other one is the fact that a business school, a prominent business school like IE, is willing to venture into areas which I think are challenging, but I think are interesting. Social responsibility is not just about doing good things. It makes sense, and it's profitable in itself. It's not like somehow there's a choice between being profitable or being good. I don't think that's the choice. The choice is doing it and doing good things that still yield a benefit for yourself, for your community, for your organization, but at the same way done in a responsible manner. I think we want to build future business leaders. I think we have to somehow recapture that ground around what are our value systems, what are our ethical standards, and how does it inform the way we run our businesses.